access. Okay. So starting with first thing is how you will take the Palo access, and then we will move to the one of the basic concept topic that we will be talking about today. So let me first tell you how you will bring up the Palo as in lab. So these are the Windows machines you can see here, which is connected to the management interface. Okay, so these machines we will be using in order to access the Palo Alto firewall. Now, the interface ETH1/1 here, like at both the sides, is something which I have considered it as a LAN interfaces, because you can see that it is pointing towards a router towards the another Windows machine. That is the LAN, which is 192.168.3.0. This is the LAN, which is 192.168.4.0. Okay. So the IP standards is easy to understand in my case. Here is the PC will belong to the IP 10. That means 192.168.1.10. Palo Alto management interface IP would be 192.168.1.1. Same goes for the Palo Alto Firewall 2. That is PC IP is going to be 2.10, and here the IP would be 2.1. As far as the LAN facing interface is considered, the IP would be 172.16.2.1. Here it is 1.1. The Cisco's routers is this interface is having 192.168.3.100. This is having 172.16.1.100. This one 192.168.4.100. This is 172.16.2.100, right? You can see that the subnets. The Windows machine here is 3.10 and this is 4.10. Easy, right? Keep in mind, the interfaces ETH1/2 is pointing towards the ISP in terms of the Palo Alto lab. Okay, so this is the internet gateway which we have in the networkings. So this will assign the IP to my firewall as a DSCP. So we only have to configure the ETH1/2 to tell him, hey, you just learn the IP as a DSCP. Bas, itna hi karna. Okay. So first thing, how you will take access of the Palo Alto. Simple put.
Sorry, Rohan, I missed the last part. The one you said, the internet gateway one.
Okay. So what I'm saying is this gateway is actually a DSCP server.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay,
So
okay,
this
okay.
will assign an IP to the Palo interfaces, which is connected to this gateway. So the IP that will be assigned will belong to the 10.0.0.0/8 subnet. So my point is, whatever subnet you want to use, as per my standard, if you want to follow it. If you want to use your own IP standards, you are welcome to use that. Okay. But please do not use 10 series IP. 10 series IP is the entire /8 network is assigned as a DSCP subnet for this gateway. Clear? So we have thousands of lab running. All is accessing internet over the IP 10 series. Okay, so please do not use that subnet. Whatever you want to use it. It's your call. Okay, clear? Now, as far as the Palo access is considered, how you will take the lab access and all, right? So here you have a Windows machine who is directly connected to the Palo management interface. So first thing what you will do is you will start the Palo. Okay, like I have done that before. Now my configuration is done, but I will tell you how to do it. So when you will see the login prompt, okay, you will see it something like it's like it will ask you for the login prompt. So there the default username and password will be admin. Okay, that is going to be the default username and password. Let me write that also in the lab. Palo Alto default login. So it is username is admin and password is admin. Okay, so that is your Palo default user credentials. Okay, whereas Windows login is the Windows login is like you have to use the password test123. That's the Windows login information. Just log in as per password 123. Do not change it. Okay, so just use this now, and this is true for every Windows machine. Okay, Now, see, the point what I'm saying is that when you will try to access, okay, let me first close all these, my previous labs. So when you will try to access the website, when you will try to turn on the Palo Alto, you have to wait for 5 or 10 minutes. To be honest, 10 minutes. It is taking a lot of time here. Now, when you will see a login prompt and when you will try to log in, it will not accept the login. Okay? It will say login failed or incorrect login, something like that. It will say, okay, then please wait again. Wait for a few more minutes. Then you will see that the page will refresh automatically and you will see something like this PAVM login. ठीक है अपने आप चेंज होगा वो but log in once. Okay, एक बार log in करना, log in once and then you will see that it has refused to accept your login and then wait for a few minutes and then you will see that it will show you a PAVM login prompt and there then you can use the password username admin and password as the same and then you will be able to log in. Okay, in my case I have changed the password, so that's why it is not taking that. So my password is something which I have written, then it must accept it. Not I will do it again. अरे यार
In real life, it is taking time, yeah, due to
in real life also it will take some time. And I will tell you the reasons behind that. Okay. Okay, so I have logged in, but in your case, what will happen is when you will use the default login admin and admin, then it will ask you enter old password. You will again enter the password as admin, enter. Then it will ask you enter new password. And there you can set the password whatever you want. Okay. And once you have set the new password, then it will allow you to log in. Okay. So whatever you do, please remember your password. Write it somewhere so that you do not mess it. Because if you mess it, you have to wipe it and again do it from the scratch. So it's a tedious work. Okay. So please, whenever you set your new password, please write it down somewhere because it is just a one-time activity. Okay. Now, that being said, so once you are in the, let's say you have logged in, then what you will do is you have to define the management interface. Okay. So initially, you will see that your management interface has not got an IP initially. Like how you will confirm that? So the command will be show interface management and you will see that there is no IP. Currently, I have the IP got. It's like because I have built it, but you will not see any IP here. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to first assign the IP to the management interface. How you will do that? Simply write configure because you have to go into the configure terminal first. So when you see the hash, do you see the hash here? So that means it's pointing towards that you are in the configuration mode. Okay, now you can configure whatever you want. So you are in the configuration mode, then you will run the command set device config system type and then press question mark if you are not sure, static. Okay, this is the command what you will be running. Then, okay, so this, what does this command do? This command said that I am trying to set a static IP to my management interface. Okay, this is what it is saying. Then what you have to run? Then you will run the command set device config. You can press the tab and it will show you the entire word. And then you will say system IP address, and write the IP because as per my lab, the IP would be 192.168.1.1, right? Netmask means subnet. Okay. So 255.255.255.0. Correct. Then default gateway. What is your gateway? So see, as per my figure, the gateway is this. You can give this IP, but I have given any IP which belongs in this range. Okay. So because for some few future labs, I have given the gateway as some different IP. So I'm using it as 192.168.1.100. But if you want to give your PC IP as a gateway IP, that's also fine. No problem. Okay. But I've given this. Done. Now what do you have to do? Commit force. Keep in mind, in Palo, you have to commit in order to save the configuration. Else it will not be executable. So there is a candidate configuration, there is a running configuration. So to make the changes effective into the running configuration, you have to commit it. Okay, so when you will do the commit force, it will try to save that configuration. You can see the commit job number 2 is running. We just wait, let it complete. Once it is done, then you will be able to access the firewall onto this management IP. Okay, so
Sir, why only we can put the commit also, no?
you can put the commit, but I don't want to see some error related to management or something. So I'm using commit force that just push the config. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't want to go into that validation and all the kind of things.
Got it, sir.
Because the motive is to just bring up, because I want the access of the firewall. Okay. So that's what the thing is. Most likely you will see me working with the commit force only.
Got it. Okay.
I think it is almost completed.
Hi, Rohan.
Yes. Yeah. Hi.
Device config means management interface or what?
Yes, management interface.
Okay.
This is what I'm doing. Now, this is what we are trying to build up, the management interface. Do you see this IP address for the management interface? Do you see my cursor here? Right. Whatever
okay.
we are doing is for the management interface only. Do you see this? This is management interface.
Okay.
That's where I send the IP 1.1. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Now, since I have saved the configuration, now what I have to do? Just come out of it, quit. Right. Now, if you want to verify your configuration, so show interface management, press enter, then you will see that, yes, it is showing you that what is the IP of your management interface, the subnet to which it belongs to, and the gateway, right? You have that, correct? Your MAC address also is being listed in here. Now, you simply go to your Windows machine. I have got Windows 7 because Windows 11 is giving me a nightmare. So I have done that. I have got an older Chrome browser, so we will try to update it at some point. And I will tell you how to configure policies and allow the internet connection. There you can do it. But the firewall Palo does not have any problem with the compatibility of the older browsers, so you do not have to struggle. So HTTPS and 192.168.1.1, try to access. But please make sure that on the Windows machine, you have set up this, the IPs and all, right? You must be able to set up that. Then only you will be able to do it. So this is the IP address. The IP of my machine is 1.10. Subnet mask is /24. Default gateway is 1.1. That is the Palo Alto management interface IP. And the DNS what I'm using is 888. Clear? Okay. So once you have that, you will be able to see this login prompt. And then you can log in using your password, what you have set at the start. And it will show you something like this. So whatever time that will be taken is during the boot up process. Okay, so that is something which you have to wait for 10 minutes or so. And then you can follow the process what I've just told you. Okay. So you will be able to see the login now. Yes, so this is the firewall for you. Palo Alto firewall. Clear? I will say don't show this message again, close. Remind me later, and we are good. Got it? How you will get the Palo Alto access?
How many members can use the same like my
I'm sorry, your audio is not that clear for me. Can you please speak louder? Come
like
closer to your mic.
Clear.
how
Yes,
many
yes,
members?
now it is clear.
Yeah, how many members can use that?
I'm really sorry. Your audio is scrambled for me. Is it only for me or it's for everyone?
I think
No,
Very
it is not
feeble
clear.
actually.
Not clear now? Okay.
Yes, sir, it's not clear.
okay.
Okay.
I'll write it.
Yeah, please type your message. I will read that. Fine. So, okay, so this is how you get your firewall access, right? So we will leave the firewall at this point, and let's take a step back to talk about the product itself, not the firewall as such, but the product. Okay, we will look into the firewall GUIs and what all options are there, start learning the configurations and the features, concepts and all. That is from Monday, but today we will try to build the fundamentals around the product. Now, let me tell you one thing about the Palo. Okay, is how is this device built? So this device is actually not a hardware based as in such. When I say hardware based, I'm not saying that Palo Alto is a firewall which you cannot buy or touch or feel. There is a physical firewall, yes. But when I say that it's not a hardware based firewall, that means the core fundamental, the designing of this product, the cornerstone of this product is on software basis, not hardware basis. Like if you want to talk about the best hardware basis design of the firewalls, you will see firewall like, of course, FortiGate is on the top. Then if you are talking about the core hardware patent firewalls, then SRX, Juniper product is SRX, right? So that is also a pure hardware based firewall. So they have the patent in that. Okay. So the good part is that the hardware firewalls are known for their throughputs, performance, because they have that hardware structure to accelerate the processes. But that's not the case with your Palo. Your Palo is built with reference to the core structure of software because the cornerstone is security. पूरा focus इसका security पे रहता है. He's like if you want to think in that way that what is the motto of this firewall, so he will say that it's good to go slow rather than risking my network. This is a firewall which can take a chance to minimize its performance. But this is the firewall which will never take a slightest chance to make you at risk. That's his priority. Now, the point is, how does this Palo do that? So there are some components, security-based components, which helps the Palo to do or to achieve what it is designed for. That is security first. Now, before I tell you that, let me also answer one thing where I just got it reminded. Someone asked me that, is it the case that the Palo always takes such a long time to boot up and give you the login access, or it's for the production also? I said it's for both. And the answer is because of the software base. Because it's a software based thing. So the engines are software based. The processes are software based, right? So the process, the management plane, which is responsible to give you the access of the firewall, will take time to boot and come up because that process is loading. That's why it takes that much time, 10, 15 minutes in an initial stage to come up. Clear? So I hope the person who asked me that question got your answer. Now, see, the Palo Alto firewall has some security components. What are those components? The three major components are app ID, user ID, and content ID. App ID, or you can think it as three engines, okay? Three major engines or software chunks. So app ID engine is responsible to identify the traffic, irrespective of the port numbers or the layer 4 informations, like whether it's a TCP traffic, UDP traffic, or kya hai wo, or whether it is a encrypted packet, payloads or something. It doesn't matter for him. That app ID engine is supposed to analyze the entire packet and identify that this traffic belongs to what application. Because once it knows that, then it can enforce the security measures as per the application basis, not as per the traffic basis. See, there's a difference. And there are very few firewalls which can do this. What do I mean by application basis? Like, maybe my requirement is that I want to apply a different set of policies on my YouTube application as compared to for my Netflix, as compared to my Teams application, as compared to Zoom. I may have different requirements, different policies applicable for each and every applications. Not only the applications in a single identity, like I said, Zoom, Teams, or anything like that, but as a group, that if it's a gaming application, apply these. If it's a VPN applications, apply these. So category wise also. So that's where the application ID engine comes into play. That's the major component of this FortiGate firewall. And when I will show you the configurations and all that, the policies and all, you will see there is an app ID which will be taking account of that. Now the second one is what? User ID. See, so first one, what I told you is app ID, right? Which is there to identify that what application to which this traffic belongs to, or application group to which this traffic belongs to, so that you can apply the policies according to that. Second one is user ID. This engine is responsible to map the traffic with reference to the users. Okay, with reference to the users. So if the Palo, let's think in this way. So let's say the Palo got a traffic from the source, which is 192.168.1.10. So what he will do now, he will also try to find out that this source is mapped to whom. So he will try to access AD, LDAP, or whatever types of authentication that you might have configured, right? So based upon that, he will try to find out that this source is mapped to which user. Why? Why it is trying to give you the map with reference to users, the IP to user mapping. Why he is doing that? Because it wants to give you the power that you can also apply the security policies based upon users. On user-to-user basis, you can enforce the policies that if the traffic is coming from HR department, whatever that user set is, the group of users, then apply these policies. If that is coming from a certain set of users, then apply these things, right? So you have the security application based upon user basis also, not only with reference to the IPs, but also based upon the user. So if you want to control what each and every users should be able to do and not, you can do that. Right? So that's where this second engine come into play. Third, and it's not hard to guess, content engine, content ID, right? What does this engine do? Think it as someone who is capable to perform UTM and inspection. Keep in mind, without the power of inspection, the UTM features cannot work. What is UTM? IPS, antivirus, web filtering, application controls, right? DLPs, okay? File filter kind of thing. So the job of the content ID is to inspect the traffic thoroughly, deeply. Whether it's a plain text or whether it is hidden, doesn't matter. He will try to inspect that. And he will try to scan the traffic in order to identify that what is wrong. Is there something which is looking like a threat, looking like a virus, looking like a malware or something? Or is it carrying some data what you do not want to send out from your network? That is the file filters kind of a thing, DLP kind of a thing. If you have configured that, all these things will be applicable, right? So the real security deep analysis of the traffic is done by whom? Content ID. Okay. Now, apart from these three major engines, there is also Wildfire, which the Palo is capable to support. What is Wildfire? Think it as like a sandbox, or actually, to put it in a proper word, it is a cloud-based sandbox, meaning behavior analysis. Wildfire helps you to stop zero-day viruses, zero-day attacks. That's what it helps you to stop. Got it? So because everything is not masked as per the database. Keep in mind, your Palo Alto or any other firewall is a zero trust structure firewall, meaning deny. If you want me to put ZTNA concept in 2 words, I would say NAT and deny. That's what the ZTNA means. And you read it anywhere. This is what the ZTNA means. NAT the traffic, drop the traffic. The default action of your firewall, and it's not only about the Palo. You take any firewall. The default action is drop, deny. You have to tell them what to do, else they will deny. Okay. Now, Palo has a certain predefined policies to allow the intra-zone and the inter-zone traffic. But as I said, there is a policy. That's why they are doing it. But if I delete that, gone. It is going to deny. Okay. So the point is, when the firewall does
Rohan,
not...
sorry.
Yes, please.
Just to interrupt, can you please elaborate this wildfire thing in a layman language, please? I mean, just want
That
to
is what I'm
understand the
trying
thing
to
exactly.
explain. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I will. See, so as I was saying, Nancy, what happens is, let's say I have a database. Okay, so try to understand the reasoning behind it. Let's say the Palo Alto has a database of its antivirus, threats, attacks, and also it knows how a ransomware attack looks like, right? It knows how a Trojan virus look like. It knows about all sorts of virus that is existing in this world right now, or all sorts of attack that is there in this world. It knows like that. It has the database of it. So what happens is, when the firewall receives the traffic, the content ID is inspecting that. He's taking a traffic sample, analyzing the pattern, and it is matching against its database. If it's a match, he will know, okay, hey, this is a certain attack, or this is a certain malware virus. So he will block it. Think it like this, that the agencies, security agencies, has got the suspect picture. So the policeman who is standing at the airport, what he has to do? He simply has to scan the face of the people who is coming and leaving the airport against the picture what he has. So it's easy job for him to do. But let's say he is not finding a match because that person what we are looking for has changed his appearance. Or maybe I do not have the picture of the guy what I'm trying to search for. Meaning there could be that the traffic is there, the firewall took a sample, it analyzed it, it matched against the database what he has, and he sees no match. Does it mean that the traffic is clean? That there is no attack, no like virus? Maybe yes, or maybe no. So now ZTNA firewalls, that is zero trust structure, is built in such a way that the firewall, if in case it does not match against the database, it thinks, I don't know. He will not think that, okay, this is a clean traffic. No. What he will suspect is, maybe I have no knowledge about this. So what he will do, there is a component, I will use the word right now, but I will reuse this concept when I will tell you about the UTM features and all. There we will talk about it thoroughly. but there's a component in the firewall software code that is called protocol decoder. Okay. So what the protocol decoder will do now, this will try to analyze the behavior of the traffic. If it's not a match, then he will see the behavior. And if the protocol decoder suspicion that, hey, something is wrong, something is fishy here. So what it will do? It will take the sample of the traffic and send it to the Wildfire, that is sandbox. He will tell him, can you please check and let me know whether this is a good or bad. Now, what is sandbox? Now, to understand the concept of sandbox or the Wildfire in the terms of Palo, think it like this. This is your Eve platform, right? Let's say this Palo Alto got compromised in this VM setup. This Palo Alto got attacked or virus is executed here. What I will do? Wipe and start it again. Because it's a VM now. I can delete it and add a new firewall. Yes or no?
Yes.
What is my loss? Nothing. The point is, Sandbox is a VM platform. Sandbox engines, what they do is they create a virtual machine and they will replicate, or you can say they will replay the traffic within that VM machine. That VM machine can be Windows, can be Linux, can be your firewall or whatever. They will replay it. And the Sandbox engine is monitoring that VM instance. That when I try to replay the traffic, does something change within my setup? That means, does it change some registry values or some unwanted changes are executed by that traffic? He will see that. Now, if that traffic sample is trying to do something that, let's say the traffic sample when replayed, tried to open a port within your Windows machine. So the sandbox noticed that. Okay, so this traffic is trying to open a port without the consent. So this is some sort of a spyware. So he now knows the verdict. What he will do, he will simply delete his VM instance where he has replayed that traffic, and then he will give a verdict. Hey, this traffic is bad. Stop it. Got it? And the best part of the Wildfire is, or the sandbox as in general, is that once it learns something, he will send that information to all Palo Alto devices across the world. So that everyone knows that this is a pattern. If you see that, stop it, because this is something. So this is why I was saying that sandbox is the Wildfire, or as in sandbox, is used to stop, identify and stop the zero-day attacks, viruses, malwares.
It is default enabled though in all Palo Alto.
Ha. You can see that. If I go to the device, you will see the Wildfire here, right? The Wildfire tab.
But it needs internet for sharing the information.
I'm sorry, you?
Yeah, internet is needed for this one, for sharing these content.
I heard only the scanning these contents. I didn't heard before that.
Yeah, actually, internet is needed for this Palo Alto not to share the info to the Wildfire.
The Palo will share that info with the Wildfire.
Okay.
This is the cloud URL. So who will send that? Protocol decoder. Protocol decoder did the behavior analysis, and when he was suspicious of the traffic, then he sent that sample to the Wildfire. That please check and let me know.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Similar kind of setup is with every other firewall.
But
Every other firewall does the same thing. Okay.
We will require a subscription, right?
Of course, you will. These are something which is sellable, right?
Yeah.
So the licensing and everything will cover that.
Okay.
Okay. Now. Okay. Now, since we're talking about the security component, that's why I'm mentioning this, that there is one more component in terms of the security is zone protection. Okay, zone protection is, to put it simply, It is to identify and stop the DDoS or in general DOS attacks. Okay, like someone is trying to scan your ports, right? IP sweeps, UDP ports are and the TCP port is scanned, or someone is trying to flood your network with reference to sending millions of TCP SYN message, or maybe large ICMP packets, right? So all these things will come into play. So in general, DOS, if you want to stop the DOS attacks, zone protection will come into play. Okay, let me show you. This will be more easy for you to understand that. Yeah, okay, so see here the DOS protection. If I click on add, so under the objects, you will see security profiles, and there it is a DOS protection. Now you see this, do you see this? SYN flood, UDP flood, ICMPs and all that, right? दिख रहा है? दिख रहा है? Right? This is the profile, what you are seeing in here. Okay, so you can define it. It's like what is the threshold for everything. Now, not only that, let's say if I have to, let me create a dummy one. Okay, I will just create a dummy one. Chalo. I'm just getting a dummy, just DOS TCP. Okay, and let's say I'm going with SYN flood, and I'm saying, okay, so random early drop, that is red is called. What is the difference between these two? We'll talk about when we will touch the policies and all. But just for now, this is the threshold what has been defined, that 10,000 packets. Up to 10,000 packets per second is good. But if I'm getting more than 10,000 packets per second, then I will drop all the packets which is beyond the 10,000. Okay, so that's what it is. So let's say you saved it. Now you will go to the policy, and here you will see there is DOS protection also in the policies. So you have to apply that profile here. Okay, so you will add, and here you will see you can define that where, source, and destination, and then you can apply that. Okay, so whatever is the profile that you have configured, here you will choose it. So you can apply the profile, whatever we have configured in there. Okay, so I have not yet done the commit, that's why you are not seeing it, but you got my point, right? What I'm saying. Clear? Clear?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Now, so this is where the zone protection comes into play. So to put it simply, it is just to stop the DOSes and all. Okay. Now, so these are the 5 key security components. Now, if you want to talk about the firewall components as in such, the structure, the architecture of this, then keep in mind that your Palo Alto firewall follows a structure called SP3. SP3 stands for single pass parallel processing. Single pass parallel processing. Okay, processing. Now, that's where the P3 comes into play. Okay, got it? PPP, single pass parallel processing. That's called SP3.
Excuse me, sir.
Now, what is SP? Yes, please.
Ravi, could you just mute yourself?
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so see here, what is SP3? So see, SP3 is like, if I want to put it in the layman term, SP3 is something which says that I will apply all the measures, security features, everything will be done while scanning the packet for the first time. So when I'm looking into the packet, then only I will apply everything onto it. Single pass. I will not process the same packet multiple times as compared to what other firewalls do. Like I can talk about the FortiGate. So FortiGate has a triple PS structure, parallel packet processing. So what does it do? It duplicates the packet. So one of the packet will be handled by the CPU processor, the other one will be handled by the network processor. same packet, but it will create a duplication of it. Now that's not the thing here. Here it's a single pass. That means a single packet is flowing through the firewall. He will apply everything on that itself. Security checks, app ID application, user ID application, content ID applications. Everything will be done on that same pass so that there is no latency. Since he is not waiting for someone else, that, okay, when I will go with the app ID, then you again process the same thing with the user ID, then you again process the same thing with the content ID. That's not the thing. When the packet is flowing, it is going to apply everything on to that. So it reduces processing time. And because it's a software-based firewall, see, again, when I'm saying software-based firewall, please do not mistake me that it's a virtual firewall. I'm not talking that. I'm like using this word in point of view of designing. So everything is based upon the process-based, not a hardware-based. Okay. So here, since it's a software-defined firewall, that's why everything is applicable onto the packet itself when it is checking it for the first time. That's what SP3 stands for. Okay.
Rohan, just one question I have. Sorry, as you mentioned, like that FortiGate firewall does it, duplicates the packet. Like parallel, it does the spanning, and this Palo Alto does it single. So what is the difference? Like I know this is out of the box. As you mentioned, I'm just asking in this context.
Okay,
What is the difference? Like, that is more
the
secure
difference
or
is onto
something?
the approach. Now, if you want to see the difference, then it's all about the designing around that firewall. So FortiGate is hardware-based firewall where you will see NPU, ASIC, NP7 processors, CP hardware processors. So there are a lot of hardware processors. As compared to Palo, it does not have that hardware extensive list of the processors. It is having a software-based processors. Okay. So they both have a different way to handle the traffic. Like FortiGate says that my motive is to give you the best of your network performance outcome. So what he says it, instead of doing everything on a single packet, let's do one thing. Security component will be handled by the hardware CPU, which is NP, and rest of the general routing, NATing, policy match, check of the integrity of the packets, all these things will be done by the other component of the CPU, which is NP. Okay, so that's why it creates the duplicate of the packet, so that all the actions are done on the same time, but with the copy of the packet. So each processor has its own copy. Now that's not the case with the SP3. What SP3 does is, instead of creating the duplicacy of the packet, what he says it, see, I am not a hardware based. I have a software code written onto it. So what he will say now, that okay, the packet came. Now, based upon the software processes, it will distribute across the hardwares. Whatever the hardware it has, he will distribute it. That okay, hey, this packet, okay, you check app ID, move to the content, move to this. So based upon the application, what you have. So when I will tell you the packet flow inside the Palo, you will see that there is a complexity into the packet flow. Okay, why? Because it's a software driven. So it tries to apply everything on a single pass, not on duplicacy pass. That's the difference. That's how these two different devices are built. Okay.
So
Does
that's a
this
design
like
and mechanism.
Yes, design. It's the Palo design is entirely different as compared to FortiGate or any other firewall.
does this single pass parallel processing is happening? That's why it is taking a lot of time when compared to like a
Hardware,
Fortinet.
yes. If you want to it's like do the comparison between the hardware-based processing and the software-based processing in terms of SP3 and triple P, then yes. Comparatively, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Because hardware is, because see, think it in this way, you have a dedicated hardware to do a task, and you have multiple set of codes in form of softwares written to do the same task. Who will be better? The software code what you have written needs to interact with your hardware resources, but the hardware Does not. He himself has the power to do it. So of course he will be quicker as compared to the codes, right? That's why you see the difference in the throughput. And you might have, I think I have mentioned in like demo also that if Palo Alto promises that I will give you 1 Gbps of throughput, and if you configure the Palo in a full-fledged manner, then you will see that Palo will give up to 600 or 700 Mbps, not 1 GB, what he promised. He will not be able to give up to that. Whereas if you go on the other side, FortiGate firewall, which says that I will give you 1 GB of the speed, and if you configure the FortiGate firewall at max, then you will see that FortiGate is able to give you 900 to 950 Mbps. Right? So see the difference. With the heavy load, Palo's performance throughput will decrease as compared to the hardware-based firewall. Okay. But it's not only about that. As I said, that the comparative difference is visible, but not in terms of individual behavior performance. But if you use the Palo for the security, because see, it's all about why you want to use the firewall. That will drive you to decide which product you want to go for. Now, my aim to use the firewall is to give security first. I want to have a granular control on the traffic, a complete vigilant eyes onto every bits and pieces that is going through my network. What I will need? Palo. But if I'm someone who is more driven towards the performance as compared to the security, then maybe I will look for something which is a hardware-based device. Okay, so that decides your motive, what you are going to. Yes, please move on, Krishna.
Since you mentioning the single pass parallel processing, okay, is this happens for like every packet that is coming from that source, or like it is like the
Every
for the
packet.
first packets?
Every packet. I will say every packet here. There's a reason. Although the fast path will be followed because of the existing session, but still, that fast path is also part of the SP3.
Okay, because
So the
in the Fortinet we have this thing like the main CPU
yes,
which
main CPU and the hardware CPU, right?
process and yeah, right. So
Correct.
which
But
process it and
here also the
for the
same
first
thing.
packet.
See, here is also the same thing. The one thing, the difference is only is that everything is clubbed inside the SP3 only. Okay, so the point is when there is a first packet, it will scan it thoroughly. That routing
Okay.
lookup, policy lookup, NAT lookup, okay, integrity check, encryption, decryption, everything will be looked into. UTM scanning and everything. But for the subsequent packet, when it will come and pass through the SP3 process, it will be very quicker because it does not need to do all those routing lookup, policy lookup, NAT lookup again and again. It does not have to, right? Because there is an existing session. So the packet will match with the existing session and it will simply go through the firewall, right? So that's called fast path.
Yeah.
But as I said here, the concept is single. It's like when I process the packet for the first time, there only I applied all the things, right? Correct. So everything will be part of this SP3 process.
That payload like inspection will happen every time, or like
Yes,
it's only the
it has to. It has to. Because you are not sure that which packet will be carrying some malicious or
malware,
malformed
right?
thing, right?
Yeah.
How would you know that? So for every packet
So
that content ID will check that.
so I can say that the basic headers, everything, whichever like the policies, the NAT policies, everything, those may be bypassed, but the payload check will happen for sure.
Let me tell you,
Can I say like that?
these things will be bypassed because this has been done for the first packet. Only thing that will be done for everything is content ID.
Okay,
Clear?
understood.
Okay, because you do not need to do the policy lookup, NAT lookup every time. Why you want me to do the routing lookup for every packet? Why? If I have accessed the YouTube, let's say the first packet came, you check that, okay, YouTube is reachable via my ETH 1/2. So if now I'm sending an ACK packet, why you will do a routing lookup? You will say it is matching with the existing session and hence it has to be go out from that ATH1/2, right? So send it out. Clear? So the only thing that will be
Yeah,
done is
clear.
content ID checks. That's all. Yes, please. There is some message. Okay, let me see that. How many can access the management IP console in real time? How many? See, you can have multiple users accessing the Palo Alto firewall at the same time, but I'm not sure of the number of the counts. I think that varies based upon your model and the licensing, but I need to check onto it. So what is payload process? Can you please explain once? Okay, what is payload process? Payload means data. When I'm using the word payload, what I'm saying is data. So the packet will carry some data, right? कुछ तो carry करेगा.
Yes.
So HTTP is carrying some data, right?
Along with headers.
Yes. So apart from headers, the actual data, that is something which I'm saying payload. Okay. When I use the word payload, I'm talking about data. What is inside the headers? Okay. Clear?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, see here.
I have one doubt.
Yes, please.
The same happens in FortiGate file also. It's like
Yes, brother. Same.
content ID.
See, the names will change, but the things are same.
Okay.
It's like there will be some difference into how the FortiGate behaves and as compared to the Palo. Of course, they are two different products. Think in this way now. You have a Volkswagen car and you have a Skoda car. They both are cars, right? But what is the feel difference and all? The process to drive both the cars are same, but there is some difference, right? The way the engines of a Skoda is designed is not as what the Volkswagen designs. The interiors are different. So that's what I think in that way. Both are doing the same job, but they have their own way to execute the task, right? That's the point. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, it's okay. So see, okay. So I was willing to also talk about okay. I see one message. Why we use the payroll in firewall? I'm not getting the word payroll. What do you mean by payroll? Payroll means, as far as payroll I understand, is salary. Huh? Can you elaborate your question, brother Mukesh? Okay. Okay, so see here, it's 10:38. Okay. See, let's talk about the packet flow. Okay, let's see how does the firewall process the traffic, and there is something that you have to take into the consideration. A lot of the words. Sorry, is there something? Any doubt?
सर आपने भी एक कॉन्सेप्ट बताया था पेरोल मतलब जो डाटा जो हमारा होता है हेडर है उसका एक बार उसको क्यों उसको यूज किया जाता है
Payload.
सॉरी फॉर द पेरोल आई लाइक टू पेलोड इट वाज रिटन बाय द पेरोल दैट्स व्हाई वी यूज द पेलोड इन फायरवॉल
No, you do not use it in the firewall. That is not in the firewall. That's your packet. Okay. Let me clear this word for you. I will show you one thing. While my Wireshark is starting, let me show you something. Okay. क्या दिखाऊं? HTTPS traffic plus CloudShark. I will be using CloudShark very frequently to show you some packets. Okay, it's a very good, it's a kind of a Wikipedia of your PCAP. Okay, whatever PCAP sample you want to see it from here. So see here, HTTP, right? So do you see HTTP protocol is carrying something? It will carry something, na? Some data or something like that. ये देखो. Do you see the data? This is payload. Got it? Data. Now, if you
Okay,
want
sir.
to see, now let's say you want to see what is this data. Like this is an port 80 communication. So of course, this is in a plain text. So whatever you see is at the best. But if it's an HTTPS, okay, the HTTPS traffic, invalid filters बोल रहा है ये. अच्छा, ठीक है, मत दिखाओ भाई. Well, I think it is TLS or something about TLS. Okay. So see here, application data, right? So you can see that layer 2, right? Layer 2 is carrying your MAC addresses. Layer 3 is carrying what? IP header. So if I say you that, what does the layer 3 carries? How would you tell me? What is the payload that the IP header is carrying? What is the answer for that?
20 bits.
Sorry? What is the answer?
So 20 bytes.
IP address you are saying, or I'm not able to hear that.
Sir, I'm saying about the 20 bytes. It's length, isn't it?
Okay, the length. Okay, you are saying 20 bytes length.
Yeah.
You are saying the length, right?
Sir, actually, we didn't get your question, sir.
My question is, if I ask this, what is the payload carried by the IP header? Or I'm saying, what is IP header carrying? What you will say? IP header is carrying what?
IP address is carrying
No,
payload
that
plus
is
source MAC.
no. That is IP header information. That's the header values. IP header carries source IP, destination IP, and lot of information. That is the header parameter. I'm saying, what does the IP header carries? Payload क्या carry करता है? It's TCP or ICMP or something. How would you know that? Protocol number, they tell you, right? What is protocol number they are telling you? What is carried by IP? Right? Right now. What is TCP carrying?
6.
No, that's the protocol number of the TCP. That's fine. But what is TCP carrying? TCP is carrying a certain amount of data. You can see that, na? Somewhere.
6 sequence number.
No. Length. TCP is not of 149. Do you know that? TCP header is maximum 40. Right? What is this? Data. MSSS. The actual data that a packet is able to carry. 149. Right? Similar type of data you are also seeing here in the IP header, 189. Why 189? Because IP header tells you about MTU, maximum transmission unit. That is what is the packet size. Packet size means IP plus TCP plus data. That is IP header 20 byte, TCP header 20 byte, and data. So what is the data size? 149 plus TCP header 20, 169 plus IP header 20, 189. That's the size what you are seeing here. Payload.
That means
Payload
plus a header is counting.
Okay. Of
Okay.
course, MTU carries what is MTU? It tells you about the size of the packet. Size of the packet means data plus IP header plus TCP header. Right? That's your MTU size.
Okay, that payload size will be same.
Payload size will be same.
Same, okay.
No, that depends upon the data. Now your header size will be same, but the data will change. The data payload will change. Now, like,
okay, like
your data can be of 149 bytes. It can be of 1200 bytes. वो कुछ भी हो सकता है भाई.
Yes, I got
Right?
it.
So depending upon that. Now see, the TCP is carrying 149 MB of payload. Under what? TLS. TLS, right? If you open the TLS, do you see that data? No. See the length of the data, 144 bytes, right? 144 bytes of the data. So actual payload, that is the data, is how much? 144 bytes. But what is that
Okay.
data? Do you see it? No, because it is encrypted. But if you want to see it, then you have to decrypt it. Like in my software, I have applied the SSL decryption. So if I do something now, anything related to the, I think I missed to select the proper interface capture. See, if I try to access anything now, like yahoo.com or something, whatever I try to do, I'm just trying to initiate an HTTPS traffic. You will see my Wireshark is able to decode that. Okay, I will show you. You will see something green. Stop तो कर दिया, अब क्यों चल रहा है? Okay, it's stopped. ये देखो, these are decoded packets. ये दिख रहा है? Under the TLS, you are only seeing in the previous example what you saw. TLS was simply showing you that, okay, hey, this is like I am carrying 144 bytes of encrypted data. What is that? You have no idea. But when I try to decrypt that, how you will do it, that is based upon the SSL variable. Okay, so if you do that, then you can see that what is actual that the TLS is carrying. So this is the decrypted data. You can see that. क्या carry कर रहा है. Okay, everything. You can see all that. जो भी वो carry कर रहा होगा, whatever it is, all the fragments assembled, and then you can see it. जो भी वो carry कर रहा होगा, whatever it is. Clear? Okay. Now, these things are called payload. I've told you all these things just to make you understand of the word payload. When I say word payload, I'm emphasizing on what your header is carrying, the data payload. Because the packet is sent for a purpose, to carry or to send something, right? What is that? That's called payload. Clear? Clear?
Not clear, Rohit.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was willing to tell you about the packet flow, but I think we do not have much time for today. Okay, let's do one thing. We will not go in that way. So we will start the packet flow from Monday, because that will require me a lot to explain for each and every process, because Palo Alto packet processing will require you to understand some certain terms. Okay, but keep in mind, I will only explain you the terms, not the config part, because that is something which we will eventually learn throughout the course. But I will give you in the next class the overview what Palo Alto does when it sees a packet. Okay, so that we have a fair amount of an idea what we need to do on the Palo and why we need to do that. Okay, so once we build that basic fundamental, then we will dive into the firewall to build that thing. Okay, clear?
Not clear, Rohit. Is there
Yes,
any
sir.
theory part or document is there in the for the networkings?
No, brother,
Use
I
the
do not use any kind of such thing. Whatever
Okay.
I say it upfront. This is why I request everyone to talk back to me. Keep asking the questions, because if you ask more, you get more from me. But I will try to share all the informations what I have. But as far as the some written notes or something is concerned, I don't have any of such thing. Okay. And of course, you can go through the KB articles or the public documents of Palo Alto as a product. There are a lot of support materials on over the internet. That is something what you can use. I also even use that when I is stuck in something. So that's the only thing I can suggest. But as far as the concepts and things are considered, that is, I will tell you upfront. Do not worry about that. Okay. And yes, let me set one more fact as straight. I think I might have repeated in the demo also, that if I do not know something, I will not hesitate to ask some time for that. Okay. But one thing is promise, whatever you ask me, I will give you the answer for that. Not wrong, but to the point. Okay. So let's learn together. Let's learn the concept. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, is it possible to share the syllabus of Palo Alto? Means it will help us
I
to.
think that has been, was the syllabus not shared with you people?
No, sir.
I missed
Please ask with your coordinator. Na? Who is your coordinator? If you want, you can refer to my demo. There I have discussed all the entire content. But still, if you want the PDF file of that, na, please check with your coordinator, support team. Okay, ask them to share you the course content. They will give you that.
Okay, sure, sir.
Yeah, please do get that. Okay, so that you will be on the same page as we are. Or else refer to my demo video, which happened on, I think, 3rd of Feb. Okay, so please refer that. There I have talked about the content. Clear, guys?
So today also live streaming is there, sir?
No. Live streaming only happens for the demo. These things, what I say, I do not prefer live streaming because that may conflict with my job as well as the interest of that product. Okay, so to come out of those tricky laws and all that, we try to be on the safe side. Fine, na?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's meet up on Monday, 9:30 p.m. That is going to be the batch schedule from Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Good.
Good night.
Thank you. Happy weekend.
Sir, this video will where I can
You
get
can
it?
see it in your, I think it's a replay portal, right? Something like that. Replay
Okay.
portal.
Okay.
So in that you will see that. Okay. Yes, I see someone has raised the hand. Oh, I think that was by mistake. Okay. Fine. Is there anything else before we end up the class?
सर कोई Palo Alto के लिए कोई बुक भी है क्या?
Palo Alto क्या है?
सर कोई बुक भी है क्या फॉर द कंटेंट पढ़ने के लिए?
ट्रिकी है क्या?
बुक
क्या बोल रहे हो भाई?
मैं कह रहा हूँ सर बुक भी है क्या कोई बुक मतलब जैसे
वॉइस क्लियर नहीं आ रहा है भाई।
पूछ एक बार अपना मैसेज लिखो ना, मैं देख लूं। I am waiting. Book. Okay, you want book for reading?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't think there is any such book. अगर मैं what you can go with is let's say for example Palo Alto admin guides, right? You can go with that. This is that, na? Configure a firewall, right? So there you can see this, the official tech documents, getting started and all. Okay, so from here you can download the PDF and that will act as a book for you. Clear?
So that cloud Wireshark we can also use, sir.
Wireshark?
Just you open the cloud Wireshark.
Cloud Wireshark. Yes, man, that's a free website.
Okay.
Anyone can use it. I use it to learn any new traffic.
Can you show me, sir, once again?
That is very that is a very good thing to learn, man. See, the point is now, let's say for example, I have no idea about SIP. Okay? For example, let's say. So I want to know how does the SIP work or how does the packets look like. So what I have to do is I have to create a lab where I have to replicate the SIP traffic. Then I can take a capture and I can learn, right? So instead of doing all that, why the waste? Why do you want to waste the time? Just look for this SIP packets plus CloudShark. Okay, just look for this. CloudShark has everything. Okay, everything. So it says now SIP PCAP, SIP example PCAP, right? So try to open one of the example PCAP. It is just like opening the Wireshark. Okay, So you do not need a software, just in a browser, you can see this is how the SIP happens. So it sends a request message, then give a trying, then it starts ringing with the status code 180. So it's now easy for me to learn now. I can simply open the header, go through what it is containing, search around it. So it saves a lot of time for me to learn a traffic protocol. Okay, I encourage everyone to use this. Okay, even in the job what you are into, use this website to see or learn about any traffic that you are interested.
That means it already saved packets there, sir.
Yes,
It's
yes,
all saved packets, right?
correct.
Captured packets. Okay.
Captured packets.
Okay. So live means we have to use the Wireshark only.
So you do not have to depend upon labs and all. Here you can clearly see what the SIP happens. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what you need to do. Or nothing else. It's a public available document. Okay.
Okay.
Okay then. So fine. So let's meet up on the. Okay, I see 2 more messages, brother. Let me go through that. Okay, fine. It's okay. Fine. So let's learn together and let's start learning the firewall from Monday onwards. Okay. So the topic for the next week would be to emphasize onto the life of packet of the of the Palo Alto firewall, and the basics around the Palo Alto. Okay. Fine.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you all. Good night.
All right.